Hello, fellow bathers, and welcome to Tub Trivia, the only live trivia show hosted from a bathtub. Believe me, we checked. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you have your loofahs and your thinking caps ready, because here is your first question for a quick bonus point. Which decade did the following events occur? The first modern crossword puzzle is published in a newspaper, the Girl Scouts of America are founded, and Hellmann's mayonnaise begins to be produced on a factory level. Type in the chat your answer if you think you know which decade encompassed all three of those events. Type it in, quick bonus point, if you don't know the answer or if you have no idea what's going on. Don't worry, we'll get you soon. The answer, the 1910s. Yeah, all three of those things happened in the 1910s. And fun fact, crosswords were originally called word crosses, which for some reason sounds so much worse. If you got that right, give yourself a point. If you still have no idea what's going on, let me explain. Hi, welcome to Tub Trivia. Since we can't all go to pub trivia, the next best thing is Tub Trivia. I'm going to ask you guys questions over 4 different categories. Whenever I ask a question, type your answer into the chat as quickly as you can if you want your score to be officially tallied. Don't feel any pressure to do that though. If you just want to watch along at your own pace, totally cool. Little secret, the points are mostly made up. But special shout out to Barb Hockma, who was our champion last game. A true trivia expert. Round 1, here we come. Round 1 is name that decade. You already just got a little taste for it, so you should be, warmed up. The wheels greasing. It's not a phrase. In this round, you have to tell me which decade I'm talking about. I'm only going to give you 2 very specific events that happened within a 10-year period. You just tell me which decade it is. Okay, makes sense? If it's the Roaring 20s, let me know. The nifty 90s, no one says that. Tell me. 1770s, I don't know. Just tell me which decade it is, okay? Here is your first question. The first James Bond novel is published, and frozen TV dinners are introduced by Swanson. Name that decade. Type your answer into the chat. Okay, who's coming in for that sweet 2-point perfect score so far with 1950s? Yep, that was the 1950s. Ian Fleming's Casino Royale, which was the first James Bond novel, was published in 1953, and C.A. Swanson and Sons released the first TV brand frozen dinner in 1953 as Yale. Just what a year, right? To stay home and sit on the couch, I guess. We could use another one of those, am I right? Question number 2. The Hindenburg disaster occurs and the War of the Worlds broadcast hits the radio airwaves. Which decade did those 2 events occur in? The Hindenburg and the War of the Worlds broadcast. 2 very scary things. The answer, the 1930s. Yeah, the Hindenburg unfortunately exploded in 1937 in New Jersey, marking the end of the airship era, and Orson Welles broadcasted the War of the Worlds in 1938 and freaked out a bunch of people. Although I've done a ton of research about this radio play because I find it so fascinating, and it's actually a misconception that there was like mass hysteria caused by people believing aliens were actually invading the Earth. The reports of suicides and riots, they're highly exaggerated. There was some panic and confusion, but that was mostly caused by people tuning in late, hearing the word invasion, and assuming that the Axis powers were invading America at, like the pinnacle of World War II. So not aliens necessarily, but still pretty fascinating. If you haven't listened to it, it's amazing. You should do it. Moving on to question number 3. Disney releases the film The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, starring Kurt Russell, and Elvis stars in the Western film Charo. 2 films I had never heard of, which is why I picked them. I'm sorry. The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes comes out, and Elvis stars in Charo. You tell me which decade both of those movies came out. Did you guess? The 1960s. And very specifically, both those things happened in 1969, almost to the precipice of the 70s. The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes is a weird comedy film from Disney that came out in 1969, and it's one of several Disney films that takes place at the fictional Medfield College, including Flubber, also takes place there. Charo was also released in 1969, and it's the only film where Elvis Presley wore a beard. I don't know why that's important, but every place I researched about this film, they all mentioned that specific fact. So apparently it's important. Question number 4. New Zealand becomes the first country to allow women to vote, and the Klondike Gold Rush occurs. Okay. New Zealand gives women the right to vote. And Klondike Gold Rush, people just start trying to find that gold. When did these two events happen? Type your answers in, and then we will move on to the final question of the round. Did you know that these both happened in the 1890s? Yeah. Hey, I didn't say these were all 20th century. You gotta get your history noggin going. New Zealand signed the new Electoral Act into law in 1893, becoming the first self-governing country in the world in which women had the right to vote. And an estimated 100,000 prospectors migrated to the Yukon Territory between 1896 and 1899 to make it rich in Canadian gold, I guess. 1890s. Fun facts. Your final decade that you have to identify. The Little Prince was published in... Wow, I just almost said the year out loud. That would have been a disaster. The Little Prince is published, end of sentence, and Princess Elizabeth of England makes her first radio broadcast. Tell me what decade both of those events happened in. And then, we're moving on to round number 2 is about to start. My God, we're just cruising. Okay, guys, did you know both of these happened in the 1940s? Yeah, The Little Prince was published in 1943, or La Petite Prince, and Queen Elizabeth, a princess at the time, gave her first wartime radio broadcast in 1940, where she made an address to the children of the Commonwealth. She was only 14 at the time. Boom! That wraps up our decade round. How everybody do? If we have any centenarians out there who are playing, who are also avid readers and fans of obscure films, you probably did super well that round. Keep track of your scores and get ready to condition your hair, because we're about to move on to round number 2. But before that, I want to give a special shout out to Georgia Moon, 6 out of 6 points. If this is the Georgia Moon that I'm thinking of, folk rock star legend, not only are you a talented musician, but you're also apparently a trivia genius. If anybody can beat Georgia Moon, you let me know. Round number 2, one of our more popular rounds, the this or that round. And this time, it's a quote edition, and you gotta tell me, did Batman say it, or did Shakespeare say it? It's as simple as that. All you have to do is type in Batman or Shakespeare. That's it. The quote is either going to be by a character in a Shakespearean play or from Batman in one of his many iterations. And I will give you a bonus point if you can tell me which Shakespearean play the line was said in, if it's a Shakespearean play. If it's Batman, just say Batman. Let's not get crazy, okay? Your first quote that you have to identify. Did I finally reach the limits of reason and find the devil waiting? Yeah. Did I finally reach the limits of reason and find the devil waiting? Is that Batman, or is that a character from a Shakespearean play? You tell me. And you get a bonus point if you can identify the Shakespearean play, assuming it's Shakespeare. Type in your answers. Answer number 1. That's Batman. Yeah, that's Batman. It's from Batman R.I.P., which is a collection of Batman comics, issues number 676 to 681. Pretty dope quote, am I right? Quote number 2 is, I'm Batman. I'm kidding, it's this one. I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in my arms. Yeah. Yeah, me too, dude. That's what I said as I entered a hot topic when I was 13 years old. Tell me who said this quote. Batman, or, I don't know, somebody from Hamlet, maybe? Type in your answers. Did you know that that was Shakespeare? Okay, and that's from the play Measure for Measure. The character Claudio says that to Isabella. That one was Shakespeare. Okay, if anybody got Measure for Measure, give yourself 2 points for that one, because that's impressive. Quote number 3. Let me have war. It exceeds peace as far as day does night. I know I do this every time we have a quote round, because they're always such good quotes, but every time I say the quote, I always gotta go, yeah. Now that's a quote. Let me have war. It exceeds peace as far as day does night. I don't know if I agree with this quote. It seems very aggressive and very pro-war. But hey, what are you gonna do? Did you guess that that was Shakespeare again? From the play Coriolanus, said by my second favorite character in that play, First Serving Man. My first favorite, second serving man, obviously. This is actually one of the few Shakespearean plays that I have never read or seen or know anything about. If you got this one right, you are a Shakespeare Genius. But apparently, Sarah Kurosawa called Coriolanus. That's amazing. That is very impressive. Congratulations to Sarah Kurosawa. Here is quote number 4. Sometimes it's only madness that makes us what we are. Sometimes it's only madness that makes us what we are. Who said that? Batman or, Petruchio? Type in your answers. Did you guess? And that was Batman. Yeah, that's Batman. And it's from the graphic novel Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, which is written by Grant Morrison. This is a very important graphic novel in the canon of Batman. It inspired many future Batman arcs. It established Arkham Asylum as one of the key locations in Gotham. It's really good. You should read it. Also read Shakespeare, but read this first. Quote number 5. Hell is empty, and all the devils are here. I'm noticing a theme. All the quotes are either about devils, darkness, or nighttime. Those are the only 3 things that Batman or Shakespeare care about. Which I get. I got lots of graphic tees with all those 3 things written all over it. Okay. Did you guess that this is a Shakespeare? Yeah, and it's from The Tempest. It's said by Ariel to Prospero. This quote is also the name of an album by Anal Nathrak, which is a British metal extreme band. I can't say if their lyrics are as, notable as the Bards, but I'm more of a Norwegian black metal fan anyway, so what would I know? Quote number 6. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored. I can be destroyed. Yeah. Me too, dude. I get ignored all the time. Who said that quote? Type in your answers. Did you guess that that was a Batman? Yeah, it's Batman. And it's from a Batman that we've probably actually all ingested. It's Batman Begins, the first in the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Spoken to Alfred when Batman decides that he needs to become a symbol for Gotham instead of just a crime fighter. He follows it up by saying, symbols are incorruptible and everlasting. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds good. Quote number 7. The night is long that never finds the day. What did I say? They're all about nighttime and darkness and devils. The night is long that never finds the day. Who said it? Type in your answers. That's Shakespeare, and it's from Macbeth. That's an important play. We should have all read that by now. It's said by Malcolm. Yeah. And like I said, there's just a lot of brooding men saying these quotes. It seems to be a theme with art, I guess. Brooding men. That's what sells, baby. Quote number 8. Vengeance is in my heart, death in my hand. Vengeance is in my heart, death in my hand. We've added the new theme, which is death. Which is not unlike darkness, nighttime, and the devil. Vengeance is in my heart, death is in my hand. Who said it? The answer is... Oh, that was Shakespeare. It sounded pretty Batmanian, but that's Shakespeare. It's from Titus Andronicus, which is kind of known to be like the most violent Shakespearean play. And it's said by the character Aaron. Vengeance is in my heart, death in my hand. Blood and revenge are hammering in my head. Those are the following lines, which, that's some pretty metal lyricism right there. You should take notes, Anal Nathrak. Your penultimate quote. You cannot stop me, not with wine or vows or the weight of age. You cannot stop me, but still you try. You can't stop whoever's saying it. Who said it? You tell me. Type in your answers before we move on to the final question of the this or that round. Did you guess that that was Batman? I like this one. It's tricky. Anything mentions wine, I immediately think Shakespeare. But it's not. That was Batman. And it's from Dark Knight Returns, which is my favorite Batman iteration in the history of Batman. Not Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns. Very different things. It's a graphic novel from like 1986, I want to say, by Frank Miller. Beautiful. Your final quote. Tell me who said this. Smoldering, I burn you. Burning you, I flare, hot and bright and fierce and beautiful. I can't tell if that's romantic or threatening, but I like it. Smoldering, I burn you. Burning you, I flare, hot and bright and fierce and beautiful. Tell me, who said that quote? It's Batman again! I freaking got you guys, dude. That's Batman. And guess what? It's from Dark Knight Returns again. I love it so much, I put 2 quotes in it from it. If you guys haven't read it, go read it. There's a lot of great quotes. Okay, guys, that's the end of the round. As a comic book fan and a former thespian, that round is like a fever dream I had when I was a freshman in college. Amazing. I hope you did well. Make sure to give yourself a bonus point if you got any of the Shakespeare plays right. Let's move on to round number 3. It's a before and after round. We've never done one of these rounds before. We wanted to try it out. So here we go. If you've never watched Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy before, first of all, you gotta watch those shows. You gotta watch Wheel of Fortune. Pat Sajak, he's a legend. It's actually not true. I'm not a big fan of Pat Sajak. I'm more of a Jeff Probst kind of guy. But basically, these questions are all gonna be interesting phrased questions that utilize homophones and homonyms to make silly answers that are totally based in fact. First, I'll give you an example. A projection in the neck formed by the larynx enjoying a fruity holiday baked good would be an Adam's apple pie. Bing, bang, boom. You get it? You take 2 answers, you push them together with the similar sounding word. You'll get the hang of it. Let's move on to question number 1. A Harlem-based talent showcase featuring an 8-time Olympic speed skating medalist. What answer are we trying to get out of this question? A Harlem-based talent showcase featuring an 8-time Olympic speed skating medalist. Easy, right? I have no idea. If this is a nightmare for you guys, don't worry. I think this is just certain people's brains work this way, others don't, and it has no bearing on your intelligence. The answer is Showtime at the Apollo Anton Ono. You get it? Come on, that's pretty clever. The original run of the show, Showtime at the Apollo, had 1,093 episodes. And that's pre-Steve Harvey, by the way. They apparently rebooted it in the last couple years. Steve Harvey's now the host. The original run had 1,093 episodes, which is very impressive. I tend to ignore most things that Steve Harvey does. I'm sorry. No, I was about to apologize. I don't like that dude. I don't like. I'm not gonna defend him. I don't like that guy. Here's the second question. A Jerry Herman penned musical greeting made to a co-star of 9 to 5. A Jerry Herman penned musical greeting made to a co-star of 9 to 5. Oh, by the way, I noticed that Jen Wood called my outfit Bathroom Country Club, which was exactly what I was going for. Thank you very much, Jen. Okay, did you know the answer is Hello, Dolly Parton. Hello, Dolly? Dolly Parton. Come on, that's pretty great. I actually used to live in Nashville, Tennessee, but I never went to Dollywood, though. There's still time. But Dolly Parton is so awesome. Can we just talk about her for a second? I mean, did you know that she produced Buffy the Vampire Slayer, in addition to thousands of songs and a million other cool things? What a legend. Number 3, a prophetic warning from the Starks regarding the editor of Vogue. A prophetic warning from the Starks regarding the editor of Vogue. What is the answer? Give you guys a couple extra seconds on these, because you got to get those wheels turning. You got to kick both your left and right side of your brain into its 5th gear. Do the gears, is the higher the number the better, or which is faster? Is first gear like really fast, or is first gear slow? I don't know anything about cars, I just revealed. How embarrassing. The answer is Anna Wintour is coming. Come on. Anna Wintour is coming. I'm not even going to defend that one. That one's great. In more Justin trivia that no one asked for, I actually have a Game of Thrones tattoo on my thigh. It's a 2-word quote from the show. And if anyone in the chat can guess what the quote of my tattoo says, you can have a bonus point. But you are ineligible for said bonus point if you've seen this tattoo in person. So if you're my friend or my dermatologist, Dr. Sherman, you're out of luck. You don't qualify. But if you can just guess what 2-word quote my tattoo is from Game of Thrones, have yourself a bonus point. Number 4. The dish created if you cut a flank steak off of the author of White Fang and marinated it for 24 hours before grilling. Okay, this one's weird. I'll admit it. This one's a stretch, but I still like it. The dish created if you cut a flank steak off of the author of White Fang and then marinated it for 24 hours before grilling. Tell me what it is. It's a Jack London broil. Come on, Jack London, author of White Fang, London Broil. This round is silly, and I like it. And it's actually very appropriate that we mention Jack London because his two most famous books are White Fang and The Call of the Wild, which both take place in the Klondike Gold Rush, which we all know now takes place in the 1890s. It's all connected. Your final before and after of the night. An Upright Citizens Brigade co-founder who eats mostly seal skin and blubber. What are we looking for? An Upright Citizens Brigade co-founder who eats mostly sealskin and blubber. Did you guess that that is, a few extra seconds, type it in. You got this. You got this. It's an Amy Polar Bear. It's an Amy Polar Bear right there. Yeah, that's right. Amy Polar Bear. That's just clever. UCB, if you're unfamiliar, it's one of the top comedy and improv theaters and workshops in the country. And fun fact, the largest recorded polar bear clocked in at 2,209 pounds and stood at 11 feet 1 inch tall. That's terrifying, but an Amy Polar Bear, that's very cute. Call the mayor of round 3 town and let her know that we're moving, because that's the end of round number 3. Sorry, that was not my best stinger. I just tried to wing my way through that one. And I'm just going to give you guys the answer now. That bonus point, the tattoo says, not today. And I believe Sarah Kurosawa got that one right too. Sarah Kurosawa is on a roll. Also, it appears that we might have had nobody get Amy Polar Bear correct, which would be amazing. This round just took some people out of the running of a perfect score. I love it. If you didn't do great that round, don't worry. Like I said, I feel like it's just your brain's got to work in a really weird way to get through a before and after round. But I think it's really fun. And now, get the mayor of round 4 city on the line and tell him to make us a reservation at the local Applebee's. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep trying to make this joke. It's not working. Round 4. Let's go. It's the variety show round. This is our assorted round of random trivia that may or may not be related. It's also a blitz round, which means that there's going to be 10 questions and they're going to fly by real quickly. So be sure to be real speedy about typing in your answers. Variety show. Who's up on stage first? Which former world number 1 is the only tennis player to have won a medal at 4 different Olympics? You tell me the name of that tennis player. Former world number 1, and they've won a medal at 4 different Olympics. Amazing. And I'll give you guys a hint. They're all Summer Olympics. You know, that might be obvious, but I think it would be pretty fun to see Steffi Graf riding a bobsled. Did you know that that was Venus Williams? Yeah, Venus Williams, a legend. Her and her sister are actually undefeated in Grand Slam doubles finals with 14 titles. They've never been beaten in a finals. Impressive. Question number 2. In Hinduism, Brahma is the creator, Shiva is the destroyer, and which god is the protector? Tell me the name of that last deity. Type it in. Blitz round. We're moving quick. Did you know that that was Vishnu? You've probably heard of Vishnu. Vishnu is the protector. Okay, and Vishnu's wife is Lakshmi, who's the Hindu goddess of fortune. What a power couple. The protector, and they have all the fortune. I would love to be adopted by them. Question number 3. What is the only known mammal to feed solely on blood? The only known mammal to feed solely on blood. Sounds terrifying, but this is a real thing. Type it in. Did you know? That's a vampire bat. Yeah, vampire bats. Those are real things. I don't know if you knew that, but that's a real thing recognized by the world of zoology. Yeah, they suck blood. They're also one of the few species of bats that can maneuver freely on land. They can crawl, jump, and they can even sprint, which is more terrifying than flying, I think. If you said just bat, I can't accept it because most bats feed on bugs and some pollen and some other things. It had to be specific and say vampire bat. Also, we have to accept vampire bat because it may or may not relate to what connects all of these answers. If you haven't figured that out yet, start paying attention. Question number 4. Dinkley is the surname of which cartoon character? Tell me the first name of the cartoon character whose last name is Dinkley. Dinkley. It's funny, this one is weirdly hard, unless you just know it for sure, because I feel like Dinkley could be the last name of any cartoon character. I feel like any cartoon character could have the last name Dinkley, and it would sound correct. The answer, it's Velma. Yeah, Velma, Scooby-Doo. She's the brains of the mystery gang. And she's well-read on obscure fields such as Viking writing, various science topics, and she eventually pursued a career as a NASA researcher. That's canon. Scooby-Doo goes deep. Question number 5. Which 1958 film is currently ranked number 1 on the British Film Institute's list of the greatest films of all time? Which 1958 film is number 1 on the BFI list of best films? Also, if you're unfamiliar with the BFI, they rank all films internationally. They're not just talking about British films. So if you don't know 100 British films, that's okay. They include all films. Type in your answer as we move to the halfway mark of our final round. Did you guess? That's Vertigo. Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo is number 1. And also, this is a weird fact that I just found and kind of made me upset. It wasn't Hitchcock who came up with the film's famous vertigo effect camera technique, which is basically like zooming forward while pulling the camera backward. It gives us this crazy effect, and it's the most iconic shot in the entire movie. It was by an uncredited second unit cameraman named Irwin Roberts came up with that effect. That guy should get more credit, because that's an amazing shot. You've probably seen the shot used in many movies nowadays, but back then that was unheard of. Question number 6. Which stagecraft comes from the Latin for to speak from the stomach? We got any Latin heads out there? Where are my Latin heads at? Or stagecraft fans? Either one. Which stagecraft comes from the Latin for to speak from the stomach? Type in your answers. Did you know? That's ventriloquism. Yeah, venter means belly and loqui means to speak. Did you know that originally ventriloquism was associated with religious practices? Which is wild because today it's about as far from godliness as you can get. I really hate those things. Question number 7. Which European city is called the City of Dreams because Sigmund Freud spent a majority of his life there? Tell me the name of the European city that is nicknamed the City of Dreams in Sigmund Freud's former home. Tell me. Okay, did you guess that the mother for that one, answer, Freudian slip, is Vienna. Vienna, Austria is called the City of Dreams. It's also called the City of Music because Mozart, Beethoven, many other famous composers worked there. I would have loved to have visited, pre-World War II. If anybody guessed Venice for that round, you totally understand how this round works, but that's incorrect. I'm very sorry. Question number 8. Elbridge Gerry, Hannibal Hamlin, and Spiro Agnew are all examples of what? Elbridge Gerry, Hannibal Hamlin, and Spiro Agnew are all examples of what? You tell me. And if you're wondering, yes, I did pick the 3 with the weirdest sounding names. Spiro Agnew is actually a dope name. Maybe because it reminds me of Spyro the Dragon. That's exactly what it is. I figured it out. Question number 8. The answer is, those are all vice presidents. Yeah, it's interesting how few vice presidents we know compared to presidents. Agnew was the vice president under Nixon, and he resigned due to a scandal. What was going on with that? with those guys? Hamlin served under Lincoln, and Gerry served as vice president under James Madison for just 1 year before he died in 1814. Fun fact, gerrymandering, or the act of manipulating boundaries for political gain, is named after Gerry. What a horrible legacy. Question number 9. What term can refer to all of the following? The central part of a stamp's design, the dimming of an image's corners, and a short sketch within a comedy show. Tell me the word that encapsulates all 3 of those things. And while you figure that out, just want to say, still no suggestions in either the live chat or the YouTube comments for the duck. The duck will apparently remain nameless. You should all be ashamed of yourself. Nobody's naming the duck. I'm speechless. Did you know that word is a vignette? Yeah, vignette. Vignette can also mean a promotional video for professional wrestling. What a dynamic word. Your final question of the night. Guys, this is it. You get this one right, you get all the marbles. That's not true. You only get 1 point if you get this one right. We're not giving away free points here. Question number 10. We got this. Let's get it right. In Norse mythology, what is the name of Odin's Hall, where chosen warriors go when they die in combat? Tell me the name of Odin's Hall. Odin, you know, Thor's daddy. Tell me the name of that magical hall. Did you know? It was, come on guys, we got this, Valhalla. One of the coolest sounding things in the world. I remember when I learned this word when I was like 12, I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to be Valhalla when I grow up. Didn't make any sense. Valhalla, it's where half of fallen warriors go. The other half go to Folkvangar, a meadow ruled by the goddess Freyja. Both sound lovely, either a dope hall or a lovely meadow. Beautiful. Bam! Guys, that is the end of the game. We did it. Congratulations to everyone who played. And don't forget to tally up your scores and let us know so we can shout you out. While you tally up, do some basic arithmetic, I'm going to leave you with your final fun fact of the night. In Switzerland, it is illegal to own just one guinea pig. 2 is fine, 1 is illegal. Yeah, and it's because you have to give your guinea pig the chance to make a friend. It's considered an act of animal cruelty to not give it the opportunity to make a connection with another guinea pig. This is true because guinea pigs can, in some ways, die from loneliness, which is giving me some serious Fleabag flashbacks, so just excuse me if I get a little emotional. All right, it looks like Rob Henderson and Georgia Moon claiming 26 points for this round. That is pretty good. Can anyone beat 26? I don't know. That's pretty good. We might have 2 winners for this one, Rob and Georgia. Congratulations to you. And congratulations to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on your Friday evening. And we're going to see you guys in 2 weeks on June 5th. Sound good? I'll see you there. Stay sharp, stay safe, stay bubbly, and don't forget to moisturize.